Market stats for 2022 here for Lafayette Parish. Believe it or not, this is one of the busiest months Acadiana has ever seen that we had to go and face this past year. Closed sales, we're down right at 9%, 413 homes compared to 376 homes sold this year. Year to date, we're still up a little over 4.5%. While it sounds like this is the first negative that we're running into from a closed sales standpoint, before we start worrying about the Chicken Little and the sky is falling and all that stuff, if we compare ourselves to last normal year, this is the very beginning of COVID for 2020, we're up 25% year to date on closed units. Dollar volume is even bigger gap for that 2020. We're only down about 4.3%, even though we were down 9% on the total number of units. So we're seeing a little bit of an increase on sales price, right at 4.3%, 103.5 versus 108.1 last year, and that's in $1 million. Year to date, we're up 12.7% compared to 2021. So still moving forward, market's still super healthy, and we're keeping an eye on what's going on, where's things heading. We look for things that are coming, homes that are coming onto the market. Where's the difference that's going on? So last year we listed 493 homes put on the market for Lafayette Parish. This year we're at 466. That's a 5.5% decrease in the total supply available for people to go and purchase. If we go and pump up compared to last normal year, we were up about 14.5% as far as the total supply for that particular month. If we look, we kind of take a step back, where are we and what's available for sale? We are working with 18% fewer homes on the market today than we were even super crazy last year. So, while we may be down 9% on the total number of units closed, the ability and the pool for things to be able to be pulled up is even smaller than it was last year. And last year, at 1187 homes that were available to buy, there's 973 this year. That's tighter and tighter and tighter. We're still running into some multiple offers on some price points. We're running into that. We ran into that 3 times this week, moving in onto the holiday weekend. It's still super healthy. We're running into some of the some of that is we're going to jump into is going to be based on mortgage rates, which we'll jump into in just a second. So the other leading indicator, as always, we always take a look at is the homes that are coming off the market. 458 homes coming off the market this year, 520 homes that came off the market last year. Just like we talked about, March was the busiest month that we had all year as far as pending home sales came. This is when the rates were in the high to mid twos. So, naturally, when we're jumping in on the beginning of the increase of these rates, 12%, not that bad. So if we compare to what it looked like back in 2020, we're up 31.6% compared to this time in 2020, the last normal time. So things are still up and moving. We have a pretty big gap between, we always talk about the spread between the homes coming off the market, homes coming onto the market. There's still a pretty big spread. We're still pretty depressed as far as the supply of inventory that's able to come out there. But what's ended up happening, because everybody's still fighting for these homes, we're seeing an average sales price that's jumping up compared to this time last year from $252,000 to $271,000. That's an increase of 7.5%. Days on market, another thing that's also dictating the speed and the pace of what's happening in the market. Last year we were at 55 days on market for 0 to $1 million plus. This year we're just under a month, so 29 days that are on the market. So the big talk lately has been interest rates. We've seen in the last month, we've seen a pretty substantial climb in rates from the upper threes. Right now on a 30-year fix, we're at 5.125. Government loans are at 4.99%. 15 years are at 4.375%. We're expecting to see some increases in rates moving forward. As long as we end up keeping the pace that we're going right now, where there's a limited amount of homes that are happening, more than likely over the next 6 to 7 months, we're going to see a fairly busy pace. I don't think we're going to run into still run into the record numbers that we were in 2021. There's just not the supply out there to be able to pick up. So Any questions? Got questions about your equity position? What that happens to look like? There are people that are out there that are looking for places to buy right now. And before we jump into potential more higher interest rates, you got the ability to jump into some other houses. So if you're interested in seeing what that happens to look like, please don't hesitate to give me a call. You can shoot me a direct message. 337-658-5690 is my personal cell. Look forward to connecting with you guys and make it a great one.